folks, look, Sportico's got the actual events up here. And it was the NC2A women's final between South Carolina and the Iowa Hawkeyes. Guess who was in that? Yeah, Caitlin Clark.
Did you see what Caitlin Clark just accomplished? She didn't just break records, she redefined them and shook the entire sports world. A college basketball player managed to outshine the World Series, the SEC Championship, and even some of the biggest names in sports. Sounds unbelievable, right? Here's the incredible part. Clark's game was the only basketball event to rank among the top 100 broadcasts of 2024.
I saw this and I was like, oh, that is very interesting indeed. The NFL had 73 of the top 100 most watched broadcasts of 2024. Only basketball, college or pro, was a Caitlin Clark game.
Not LeBron James, not the NBA Finals, just Caitlin Clark. Let that sink in for a moment. You might be thinking, no way a college basketball player could compete with the NFL. But here's where it gets mind-blowing. 73 out of the top 100 broadcasts in 2024 were NFL games. Incredible, right? But guess who made it to number 76? Caitlin Clark.
Number 76, the 76th highest rated and most watched show of the entire 2024 year was Caitlin Clark. That's the only basketball game on this entire list, by the way. And in case you're wondering, down here, that's the World Series. Yeah, that was the World Series.
That's right. Caitlin Clark's NC double a women's final. Can you believe it? A college basketball game outperforming some NFL matchups. Now you're probably wondering, what about the NBA or MLB? Well, here's the kicker. Clark's game was the only basketball game to make the entire list. Not LeBron, not Steph Curry, just Caitlin Clark. It's as if she's playing on a completely different level. And it gets even better. Clark's game didn't just scrape by with a modest audience. It was a true spectacle.
18.9 million viewers for that game, and a lot of us knew what that rating was already. But it was pretty remarkable to see.
That's right, minus 18.9 million people tuned in to watch Caitlin Clark play. Let that sink in. She didn't just surpass a few random games, she outdrew the World Series featuring the Yankees and Dodgers. Ohtani, Judge, all of them. And the SEC Championship. Clark topped that too. It's like she has a unique magic that keeps people glued to their screens.
Game 5, Yankees-Dodgers. All right, the two biggest brands in Major League Baseball, and it got beat by Caitlin Clark, 18.2 million. I mean, it's still a lot of viewers for a baseball game.
So, how did Caitlin Clark manage to beat the NFL at its own game? It's not just about her incredible skills on the court, though those are undeniably phenomenal. It's the entire package. Clark plays with an electrifying style that keeps fans on the edge of their seats. Every time she touches the ball, you can feel the anticipation. Will she sink an impossible shot? Will she deliver a jaw-dropping pass no one else could have imagined? But it's more than just her moves on the court. It's her story. People love an underdog, and Clark's journey feels like it's straight out of a Hollywood movie. She's not just playing basketball, she's capturing parts and captivating audiences everywhere.
I feel like Caitlin Clark has done something that I've never seen anybody really do. I've never seen one person change a sport before. Like I said, Steph Curry has changed it as far as like revolutionized it, but he didn't change the whole entire way that we look at basketball, like men's basketball. Michael Jordan definitely played a major part, but the NBA was still lit with Bird and Magic, but Michael took it to another level. If Mike took it from 70 to 90, she took it from 20 to 80. Like she took this game from 20 to 80. They were riding commercial airplanes. Bro, nobody was watching their.
Experts believe Caitlin Clark's game resonated so deeply with fans because it's more than just basketball. It's pure drama, raw excitement, and the thrill of witnessing someone achieve the impossible. That's how she beat the NFL at its own game. She didn't just play. She created a moment everyone wanted to be part of. In doing so, she didn't just break records, she rewrote the entire playbook on what's possible in sports. Now, you might assume Caitlin Clark was destined for greatness from the start. But here's where her story takes an unexpected twist that will leave you amazed.
Move over here because we got an explanation from Caitlin Clark why it was she chose to not go to a Catholic school. And by Catholic school, I'm talking about Notre Dame. We all know that for her, it really came down between Iowa and Notre Dame, and she did explain that decision.
Picture this. A young Caitlin Clark growing up in the Midwest, dreaming of playing for Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, with all their tradition and prestige. It seemed like the perfect match, a basketball destiny waiting to unfold. But wait, it gets even more unbelievable. Clark's family was just as invested in the dream. They were practically ready to paint their house blue and gold. And here's the kicker. The legendary coach Muffet McGraw herself was calling Clark personally. It was the kind of setup that seemed too good to be true.
Basically, everybody wanted her to go to Notre Dame. Clark previously told ESPN that former Notre Dame women's basketball coach Muffet McGraw tried to recruit her, and that Clark's own family also wanted her to play for the Fighting Irish.
It was like the basketball gods themselves were guiding her towards South Bend. You'd think it was a done deal, right? Wrong. Caitlin Clark did something that no one expected. She trusted her instincts. Can you believe it? Despite all the signs pointing to Notre Dame when she visited the campus, something just didn't feel right. It was a decision that left everyone stunned.
However, Clark said Thursday that she ultimately made the decision to not play there because of a feeling in her gut. Quote, "I could feel it in my gut. I was like, I'm not supposed to go there."
However, Clark shared on Thursday that her decision to turn down Notre Dame came down to something deeply personal, a feeling in her gut. She said, "I could feel it in my gut. I was like, I'm not supposed to go there." So what did she do? She chose Iowa, her home state, a program that wasn't the powerhouse everyone expected her to join, but the one that truly felt right to her. Now you might be thinking, was this the biggest mistake of her career? Well, let me tell you, it was anything but.
Clark's gut feeling certainly did not steer her in the wrong direction. She ended up committing to her home state, University of Iowa, instead, where she played in her entire four-year college career.
Here's where it gets really interesting. By not choosing Notre Dame, Caitlin Clark potentially passed up some serious cash, huge NIL opportunities. The Fighting Irish have a massive brand and a dedicated fan base that could have made her even more marketable. But Clark wasn't focused on that. She cared more about following her heart. And just how close was she to never playing for Iowa? It was razor thin. Her family was strongly pushing for Notre Dame, but she stayed true to what felt right for her.
So I guess her own folks wanted her to play there. "My family wanted me to go to Notre Dame," Caitlin said. "At the end of the day, they said they were like, you make the decision for yourself, but it's Notre Dame. Rudy was one of my favorite movies. How could you not pick Notre Dame?"
That's how close it was. One decision, one moment, that's all it took to change the course of basketball history. So, the next time someone tells you to ignore your gut, think of Caitlin Clark. She didn't just make a decision, she rewrote her own destiny. And in doing so, she changed the game forever. Now that's what I call trusting your instincts. So, Clark chose Iowa, and wow, did she make that decision count? You might be thinking, okay, she picked a less prestigious school, so what? Well, let me tell you, Clark didn't just play well at Iowa. She completely rewrote the record books.
Clark broke multiple NCAA records for the Hawkeyes, including all-time leading scoring record among all college basketball players, men or women, in history.
The line for the record. She ties it with that one. This for college basketball history. She does it with a foul shot. Caitlin Clark becomes the all-time leading scorer in major college basketball history, passing Pistol Pete